Hello, I'm here with Nigel Croft, Chair of the ISO Committee revising ISO 9001, the standard for quality management systems. Recently, a vote approved the current draft of the standard, and the revision progressed to the next stage, the final draft international standard. But what does this all mean? Nigel, can you tell us what the stage is all about and what this will mean for the draft of ISO 9001?
Well, obviously, we're very happy that the ISO members, around about 90% of them, did actually vote to progress the draft international standard to the next stage. That doesn't mean there is unanimity. The ISO process is built on a consensus building process, and we will actually take into consideration all the comments that we've received on the draft international standard and move those forward as appropriate into the final draft international standard. So it's not only those member organizations who voted no whose comments we'll take into account. Obviously, we take into account everyone's comments, most of them constructive comments, but very definitely it's given us a mandate that we're on the right track and we're on schedule for publication next year.
Great, thanks for this, Nigel. Can you give us a quick summary of the main changes so far in this revision?
We are maintaining very strongly the focus on what we call the process approach, effective process management to produce the desired outcomes, which in the case of a quality management system means, of course, consistent products and services consistently meeting customer needs and expectations. I think you will see that in the revision of the standard. That comes through very clearly. But the new version, the 2015 version, is very strongly based on three core concepts, and these are explained in the introduction to the standard. First of all, that process approach that was so successful in the year 2000 and the 2008 version of the standard, whereby we apply systematic definition and management of processes and the interaction of those processes to help the organization to achieve the intended results, consistent products and services, in accordance with their quality policy, and this is very important, aligned with the strategic direction of the organization. So the new version of the standard places very strong emphasis that the quality management system has to be woven into and totally aligned with the strategic direction. Second, superimposed on that system of processes is the Plan, Do, Check, Act methodology. So that Plan, Do, Check, Act methodology applies to individual processes, and it also applies to the system as a whole. In other words, how do the processes fit together? Are they being successful in achieving the results that the organization sets out to achieve? And then a third core concept, which is new in the year 2015 version, is an overall focus on what we're calling risk-based thinking, aiming at preventing undesirable outcomes. Those undesirable outcomes, obviously, very clearly, are things like non-conforming products and services.
Thank you, Nigel, for this information. Now that we are moving on to this final stage, can you tell us what are the next steps that are still to come, and when do we expect to see the final standard?
Sure. Well, the next steps, my team within our working group 24 is currently busy collating all the comments that we've received on the draft international standard. They will have a physical meeting in the middle of November, where they will work through the comments received, which ranged from very high-level philosophical comments down to minor editorial suggestions. They will then work electronically over the next 2 or 3 months within the certification context. And remember that certification is not a requirement imposed by ISO. It's a choice that organizations can have to demonstrate that they meet the requirements of ISO 9001. But within that certification context, the International Accreditation Forum has already defined that there will be a 3-year transition period. But we hope that organizations won't wait until the last minute to make the changes. Organizations can start working now, can start looking at the draft international standard, even before we move it to the final draft international standard stage, and look at it hopefully in a proactive way to say, how can we collectively benefit from the changes of the requirements? How can we use those new requirements to provide greater confidence to our customers that we are able to understand their requirements, that we're able to provide products and services that consistently meet those requirements in the long term. So there is no need for panic right now. We hope that people will look at the changes in a very proactive way, rather than just another set of requirements that we have to meet, but something that will help organizations to develop really a more robust quality management system that will allow them to build confidence in products and services that are delivered throughout the supply chain to organizations and to people worldwide. So get ready, start thinking about this now, and you have essentially 3 years after publication of the standard, by which time, if you are certified, then you need to align to the new version of the standard.
Thank you, Nigel, for this very exciting and inspiring update, and we look forward to having a look at this new version of the standard once it's available.
Thanks, Maria. As always, it's a pleasure.
Bye-bye, Nigel.
Bye.